what's up? This is Mackenzie. So today I'm going to be filming a piercing tour because a lot of you guys like my tattoo tour. It did really well, and when I filmed that video I originally also did a piercing part, but I didn't add it in because it was super long. So I just wanted to add that second part to it. I really love having a bunch of different unique piercings in my ears. I feel like it's like an accessory. I feel like it really adds to your look. I feel like it looks so cute when you have your hair up and you can see all of the piercings that you have, and it's really fun to switch them out and like play around with different jewelry in them, and I really like that. So it's one of my favorite things that I've done to my body, so I wanted to share that with y'all and maybe some tips about how to pick which piercings are good for your ears. So with that being said, we will get started. So as you can see, I have very small ears. So this has been kind of difficult in being able to have a lobe piercing and have it stay in my ear and not stretch out. I've had them pierced probably 3 times before I finally got one that stuck, and when I got them pierced for the 4th time, what I had to do, I had to just not even touch the 2 holes that I already had, as one of them was really stretched out and couldn't be used. So I had to just get another set of piercings behind. So that is technically my first lobe piercing. So on this one, the original hole from like 8th grade, I think, still is in here. So this one I'm able to put an earring in and the other one I'm not. So I'll show. You can see how this little piercing right here, it's really hard to see. It's not super noticeable, but it is stretched out. So this was the original lobe piercing that I had on that ear, and that one, it has just stretched out so far I can no longer put earrings in it because I'm just scared that it's gonna split, and that looks so gross, and I don't want to have to pay to get a surgery to fix that because I'm not having my earlobe split. That grosses me out. So yeah, I got the lobe piercings in, we'll say, 11th grade, and I've had them ever since. They've been fine. The lobe piercings are definitely the easiest to heal, as it's just your little gummy little cartilage earlobe. These are the only ones that you could get pierced with a gun, but I still wouldn't really recommend it because you're better off going to a piercer. Piercer is going to be more experienced. They're going to know what they're doing better, and they have more control when they're piercing with a needle than they do when they're piercing with a gun. Also, the lobe is the only place you can get a piercing with a gun. Like, I think Claire's actually does pierce with a gun on cartilage, which they shouldn't, because that can end up shattering your cartilage and it'd be really painful. It'll never really heal. It's just like, it happened to one of my friends. It's a painful thing. You don't want it to happen. Just don't get your cartilage pierced with a gun. Don't go to Piercing Pagoda, don't go to Claire's, don't go to anything like that in the mall that has a gun for anything on your cartilage. Go to a tattoo shop and get a piercer to do it. It might be a little bit more expensive, but you're gonna get a better result. This first lobe piercing, the only one I have done with a gun. The pain for lobe piercings is obviously gonna be the most minimal pain because there's not a ton of nerves in here. It's just going through like gummy skin, so it's not gonna hurt. The little pinch, but it's nothing crazy, and they heal completely normal as opposed to everything else. So then next, after I got the little lobe piercings, I got my nose pierced. So as you can see, I have a hoop in it right now. It really adds to my nose. Like, my nose looks so strange without it. I will take out my piercing so you can see what it looks like. It just doesn't even look like me because I've had it for so long that it is me. This nose piercing is me. This is who I am. Like, I'm no one without my nose ring. I look at myself and I don't know who that is without it. So if I ever find a job where I can't wear my nose piercing, that job's not for me. This is me. Nose piercing and all. I'll be 70 years old with this nose piercing in because it looks so strange when it comes out. Like, you can see the little hole right there, and we're back. The nose healed fairly easily. It was a weird situation because I did have to go to work, and that job that I had at the time did not let you have a nose piercing, so I had to take it out a couple weeks earlier and put in a clear stud before I went into work. So I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have taken the jewelry out, but I had to, and it did kind of hinder the process a little bit. I did end up developing one of the red bumps right there around the nose piercing that looks really bad. I will see if I can find a picture of it. If I can find a picture of it, I'll put it in here because it just kind of looks gross. So those can happen even if you don't take out the jewelry early, but I think that they're more likely to if you do take the piercing ring out early. Eventually I feel like the bumps went away and healed after a few months. The other thing about the nose piercing is that it is kind of difficult to put in a hoop and out a hoop at first when you're not really familiar with where the entry hole and the exit hole is. That's why you don't really want to do it until your nose piercing has healed completely and you don't have any more pain, because it will be really painful when you're trying to push through the little jewelry through a hole that's not healed and you're not entirely sure where it is. You can see where it enters, but you can't see where it exits through your nose, so it's just kind of difficult. It hurts a lot if you're doing all this and you're moving it all around and it's not healed. I feel like that's one of the reasons why I developed the bump on it, so I wouldn't recommend doing that either. And for the pain of it, it really didn't hurt. It made my eye water. It was just a really quick push up and it was very worth it. So for the pain, it was probably like a 4 out of 10. It wasn't painful at all. I've heard that it will close up very fast because of like the membranes in the skin on your cartilage on your nose. So I've never left my nose piercing out for longer than like 5 minutes because I don't want it to close up. I love it. So I don't really know about that. I don't know how easily it would close up. I do imagine it would be a lot quicker than like a lobe piercing, so be mindful of that if you do get it done. This is kind of weird, but this happened after I got mine. I didn't get a stuffed nose on the side of my nose that I got it pierced on. It actually both, like either nostril. I didn't get a stuffed nose for a couple months, maybe even like a year. It was like a year after that I got it pierced, I finally had a stuffed nose again. So it wasn't like I had to breathe, like blow my nose at all when I first got it done. So that was something I didn't have to do. I don't know if maybe the little hole there does something. I don't know, maybe it was just a coincidence for me, but I thought it was pretty cool. I was like, after I got it pierced, I was like, why aren't people talking about this? Like, I got my nose pierced and I'm never having a stuffed nose again. This is amazing. This is groundbreaking, revolutionary. I'm gonna publish a study about this. And then the next year I did get a stuffed nose again, but it's a part of life. Well, that's a lot of random stuff about my nose piercing. Now we'll move on to my ears. We will start with my right ear. So this is my right ear right here. So up here I have the helix, just a regular cartilage piercing. And I have my tragus, which is the little like ear flap of skin. Ears are so weird. On this ear I have 5 lobe piercings. So these ones are going up and they're kind of getting to the point where they could be like, I think it's called like an auricle. Like they're really getting up there in height. Like when these were pierced, they were definitely pierced through cartilage. I feel like on a normal ear this would still be in the lobe, but because my ear is so small, they're up here. For the cartilage, I got this one done at a tattoo shop. This one was actually more painful than I would have thought that it would have been. It was probably like a 6 out of 10. It was a little painful for a piercing. And I don't know why, because it should have been an easy one. Maybe it was just the spot that it was pierced through had some nerves. I did get it pierced with a ball, not a hoop. I changed it to a hoop after a while, since that was my original vision for this year, was to have a little hoop and then a tragus. It'd be simple, but it would be a little bit cuter than just like random stuff. It healed pretty fine. There was a little bit of like a keloid at the back for a while, but it did end up going away, so that's good. Pretty easy healing process. It was kind of painful, and it was especially painful when I was changing it, but like 3 years later now it's fine. It's here for the long run. Haven't changed it since then. Then the tragus. So my tragus was my most painful ear piercing. It hurt. It's a needle going through this kind of thick skin right here, so it's probably like an 8 out of 10. This one took so long to heal, between 6 months and a year. I think it was after a year I was like, finally this bump is gone. I thought this bump was going to be here forever. I used to have this red bump, huge red bump, and it would just sit on top of the piercing. I don't know why. I cleaned it every day like I was supposed to, cleaned it, didn't touch it, but it's such a in the way kind of piercing that anytime someone would like touch my hair, it would hit it and it would hurt. You would hit it yourself and it would hurt because it was still healing. It still has this giant red like gross bump on it, and it was really painful. Very long healing process. Like you're probably gonna have a giant red bump. No matter if you do everything right, you're probably gonna have a giant red bump on your ear and it's gonna be gross. So that was my tragus, but other than that, it's fine. It's a really long earring for this little piece, so it'll just kind of hang out like that. And you can push it back in. Now it's painless. It doesn't hurt at all. You can hit it. You don't feel the things. If you're willing to go through a couple months of pain for a pretty piercing, I would recommend. I've never changed this one just because if I were to change it, I would want to go to a piercer, because that way I wouldn't accidentally drop the ball in my ear. That's my biggest fear, is that if I'm changing this, I'm going to accidentally, like, somehow something's going to end up in my ear canal and I'm going to have to go get surgery, and it's just going to be a big deal. And then on this ear, we have all of the lobe piercings. Not really anything exciting here. And we also have like these two up here. These two are the most recent. I got them done in like January. They're a little fresh, so they're still healing. They were a little bit more painful as they're starting to run up the side of my ear and get into the cartilage right there. But overall, like, I really like the look that they give to the ear. They make it look full. I can't wait to see what it'll look like when I put some little like huggies, little hoops in there. Maybe play with it a little bit, put a stud somewhere, have some hoops behind it. It's gonna be really fun to play with them when they're finally healed. Usually I like try to keep those piercings in much longer than they say is the date where you can change them, because a lot of times it'll still hurt me, and I like to take them out a little bit earlier, and I don't like that. So unless they fall out, I usually just try to leave them in until I'm like absolutely certain that they don't hurt in any way anymore. And that's just my strategy for getting piercings, and it's kind of worked. So yeah, they were a little bit more painful. We'll say a lobe piercing's a 3 out of 10. These were probably like a 5 out of 10, but it was quick and easy. Now we will go on to the next ear. This ear is really cute to me. I really like this one. This is probably my favorite ear, but I really like both of them, and I just like how they're different. They're asymmetrical. They're both doing their own thing, and it's really cute. So I got up here, this is my rook. My rook was a very painless cartilage piercing. It was like the least painful thing that I've gotten done, and the healing was so easy. It was like a 4 out of 10. It was all pressure that I was feeling in my ear. It was no actual like pain, no pop. It was just a little bit of pressure. It was really quick, and it never hurt when I was healing. It was a little sore the day of. It's really cute. I would like to change it one day. It is a little big for my ear, but I really like the way it looks. It really adds this little like ear crevice right here. I think it's cute. So then next we have my conch. I got it pierced with a barbell like all of them, and it was kind of painful. I'd say it was like a 6 out of 10, and it was quick and easy. It was kind of painful to heal too, because the ball actually will go through to the back of your ear. So anytime like you touch your ear, you put your hair behind your ear, it'll hit the ball. So that was a painful thing. It also resulted in the ball loosening and almost falling off. Or no, it actually did fall off. It fell off when I was in biology, and I was like freaking out. I was like, my earring's gonna close up, my earring's gonna close up. And then I realized I couldn't find the ball anywhere, and I just had to put in a hoop early, but it's okay because that was always my vision for it. I always wanted like the cuff look but it stays in all the time, and it is the cutest. It is one of my favorites. Like, I love that cute little cuff look. This one is a little bit bigger for my ear than I would want, but it's so cute and I really like it. I'd say this one probably stopped hurting after a couple months as well. Even when I changed it early, it was still fine. I still kept cleaning it. I mean, I didn't really have an option. It was kind of like change it earlier, let it fall out. So that's what I did. And then we again have just some like 3 more lobe piercings, because I have my conch. I can't really traverse too much higher. And so just how I picked out that I wanted these, I just basically went through Pinterest boards, and then I would like go on Google Images and I would type in like different cartilage piercings, and then I would look through on Pinterest and I would see which ones I liked, and then I would like pick and choose what I thought would look the best on like my small ear shape. Obviously I can't do as much as some other people do because it just would overload my ear and it would look like too much. That's kind of how I decided. So I just definitely recommend like going through pictures on Pinterest, seeing what you like, seeing what you would like for your ear, like what kind of jewelry you'd want. Also, another thing to keep in mind is the conch and like the cartilage and the tragus. Those are some of the hardest ones to sleep on. And so I would definitely recommend trying to prioritize the less painful ones on the side that you sleep on primarily, or like try sleeping like this, because that is like the worst thing is when you're sleeping and it just, your ear hurts. So that's kind of another way how I decided what I wanted on each ear, is because like, so I was told the conch was the most painful one to sleep on, and I slept on this side at the time, and so I got these. But then when I ended up getting my conch, I slept on the other side, so I kind of like, it's fine. But I would say like just kind of keep in mind the way that you sleep. Just think about what you wouldn't want to sleep on. And I have one more piercing. I can't see it because I didn't think this through. I'm wearing a bodysuit, but I do have belly button pierced. I do want to talk about this one because it was kind of a lot more painful than I expected for healing. So like the actual piercing didn't hurt that much. It was like a 5 out of 10, but the healing was very strange. So it actually was very painful, and like I found myself like anytime I was doing my stomach for anything, and like it would hurt and it would hurt. And I got it done in the summer, and you're not really supposed to swim after you get it because it can infect it. So another thing, don't get it in the summer. Probably get this one done in a time when you're not going to be going in water. The healing took probably like a couple weeks before I finally could like give a hug and like not like like oh, my stomach, like freak out about that. So it was a while, but after it healed, it's fine. It's never really done anything. It's just chilled. I've never changed it because like I don't really like the, you know, the long like bedazzled chain, pot leaf, Confederate flag. So I hope that this video was helpful for you guys. Maybe it helped, maybe it didn't, but thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked it, please make sure to like and subscribe. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what piercings you guys have, what piercings you want, which ones you're interested in, anything else you want to see from me. Just let me know. Say hi. I'll answer you back. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.